welcome back to Planet Boo. And if you're brand new, well, we welcome you too. It's your boy Boo, and I'm ready to get back into some action. I don't know about you! Alright, like, comment, and subscribe while you're at it. And let's get into this interesting topic. Now, one of my good friends and good supporters, none other than the IceQueen, and you can follow her on Instagram, recently told me on a Pokemon Black live stream that she hates Pikachu so much that she wrote an essay about it. Now, she's been around for quite some time, and I vaguely remembered her saying that she hated Pikachu in the past, as she was part of this anti-Pikachu cult along with the Eevee Queen. Go subscribe, an amazing streamer by the way. But I didn't realize how deep-rooted this hatred really was. She then told me that she wrote an essay about Pikachu being problematic, more specifically Ash's Pikachu. I then asked her, okay, I get it. Did you write this essay as some kind of assignment of some sort? Maybe a project? Nope. Wrong. She told me she wrote it on her own out of pure disdain and hatred for the character. That's when I knew this level of vitriol was different. Listen, I love writing, but hell, I don't want to write no paper if I'm not, assigned to it. This girl really woke up like, I'ma get you Pikachu on her mind. Probably didn't even get a cup of coffee because she was already hot enough and started jotting down her thoughts on Ash's Pikachu. Bruh, there was probably smoke coming from her notebook from the friction of the pencil and paper. So you know what? We're gonna take a look at her essay / blog together and see what she has to say about the beloved Pokemon that is Pikachu. Pika! While she does hate Pikachu, like I said, this essay will be taking a look at her venom specifically directed at Ash's Pikachu in the animated series. Now, let me be the first to say that I am not a Pikachu fan by any means, nor do I hate the electric rat. Pikachu doesn't even crack my list of top 10 favorite Pokemon. Raichu over Pikachu. King Charizard. Before the Pikasexuals start attacking me, let me first say that while Pikachu isn't one of my favorites, I do, however, understand its importance to the franchise and why it is so beloved and dope in its own right. You know what I mean? But before we get into the essay, let me first talk about why Pikachu is important to Pokemon and why Ash's Pikachu is important as well. First, let's talk about Pikachu, the Pokemon in general. Right? We are talking about the mascot of Pokemon here. The mascot, the shining star, the leader and torchbearer of the franchise that has probably been the most successful Nintendo IP since its emergence. Sorry Mario, sorry Zelda. An original member of the first initial wave of 151 Pokemon that was introduced in 1996. God damn it, I'm getting old. Obviously, the Electric Rodent was an S-Class act and an original pioneer, or rather, the pioneer of the franchise. For those of us that were alive, surely we remember we could not go anywhere without hearing, seeing, or talking about Pikachu and Pokemon as a whole. Pikachu was marketed everywhere, and I mean everywhere. That plush, round face, cute, rosy cheeks, sleek design, and wonderful black eyes was on every billboard, magazine, newspaper, advertisement, t-shirt, hat, underwears, sandals, shorts, school supplies, tattoos. For Christ's sake, Pikachu became a regular big-ass balloon during the Macy's Day Thanksgiving Parade. Like, for real, for real. For real, for real. I mean, the only other mascots I had seen before Pikachu at that parade were Sonic and Mario. You name it. After the anime came out, its popularity really skyrocketed to even more unfathomable levels into the atmosphere. Pikachu's design was simply unique, or is still unique, family-friendly, popped with vibrant colors of yellow and red that complement each other well, and then the black features on various parts of the body. Really a genius design. People often forget how early you can actually catch Pikachu in the games and the original red and blue versions released in the USA. Pikachu was essentially the first rare Pokemon you could potentially encounter in the Viridian Forest shortly after getting your starter in Pallet Town. This forest was a forest saturated with annoying bug-type Pokemon like Weedle, Caterpie, and Metapod and Kakuna to a lesser degree. But Pikachu was the rare shining star you could encounter if you were lucky enough to stumble upon it running through or sticking around long enough to ensure the encounter happens. Also, with it being electric type, it was very useful against the water and flying types you will encounter in the game, because it will be a bit before you could actually capture any other type of electric Pokemon in the game. It simply made a great party member in early game stages. Now, with the emergence of the anime series really bolstering Pikachu's popularity, Nintendo released Pokemon Yellow version, which integrated many aspects of the anime with the previous red and blue versions. Mainly having Pikachu as a partner that follows you outside of its Pokeball, being able to obtain all three original starters, and encountering Jessie, James, and Meowth as part of Team Rocket. Pikachu's presence really speared a more refined and better version of the games that were already perfect in so many people's eyes, that was red and blue. Right? Pikachu soon found its way as a founding fighter on the OG Super Smash Bros. Game for Nintendo 64. God, man, I remember that commercial like it was yesterday. Me and you and me, and then all the characters, Pikachu, Donkey Kong, Mario, fighting each other after it started out all happy-go-lucky, dude. It was because of that commercial that I fell in love with that game, and I needed that game in my life, and Pikachu was a big reason for it. You know, I don't know if I would have reacted to that game the same way had I not seen Pikachu on that damn commercial. All right, being able to control Pikachu directly with a joystick and dish out attacks and finishing blows as quickly as your mind can talk to your fingers was pure bliss. It was more than selecting attacks like you would in the RPG games and watching your Pokemon execute them. For the first time, you were the Pokemon in control, and it was simply incredible. Now, let's get into Ash's Pikachu. Where do we start? It was Ash's Pikachu in the anime in conjunction with the line of games that really skyrocketed Pokemon and Pikachu's popularity to heights where only few franchises, IPs, and mascots could ever see, and most would die just to gaze upon that atmosphere with binoculars. Now, we all know the story. Ash wakes up late to Professor Oak's lab, misses out on Charmander, Bulbasaur, or Squirtle, and gets stuck with a moody asshole Pikachu. That first episode, Pokemon I Choose You, really set the groundwork for Pikachu, Ash, and their relationship as a whole. In under 30 minutes, thank you commercials, we were able to feel for these characters, bond with them, go through a quick story arc, and really fall in love with them. Ash's Pikachu proved to be ridiculously strong at such a low level by obliterating dozens and maybe even 100 Spearows after getting struck with lightning and redirecting it, as Ash was protecting Pikachu from these Spearows. It was really amazing, man. And Pikachu became the face of the show, along with the mascot of the franchise. Ash's Pikachu is different. Pikachu is truly Ash's best friend and travels with him outside of its Pokeball on foot or on his shoulder. Being able to hear how this Pokemon sounded for the first time, while it can only speak its name, was truly monumental and incredible. Pikachu is a pioneer in the anime, a rebel, a trendsetter. Pikachu values freedom and will fight for what it believes and go against the norms of society. Why should I stay in a Pokeball? Right? Why should I be confined to this Pokemon? I want to be free. This is Ash's partner, Ash's lifelong friend, and it's more than just a Pokemon. There is not a stronger bond in all of the series than the one that these two have. That makes Pikachu very, 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 very special. Pikachu's popularity in anime also bolstered the video game series even more with popular spin-offs such as Hey You Pikachu, released in 1998 on the Nintendo 64. There is so much more we can talk about, such as movies and other forms of media. However, the important thing is Pikachu and Ash's Pikachu's coexistence is a huge reason for the success of the Pokemon franchise, and a huge reason why many people were pulled into the phenomenon that is Pokemon. Pokemon has been around for over 20 years now. Think about it, over 20 years. And when you hear Pokemon, Pikachu is probably the first thing that comes to the majority of people's minds, especially those people that are not hardcore fans and people that lack a relationship with any specific aspect or Pokemon. Pikachu is arguably the most recognizable Nintendo character after Mario. Yeah, I said it. Even more than you, Link. Yes, we still have people that call Link Zelda. Yes, those people still exist. But that just goes to show you how prominent Pikachu is and valuable it is to the franchise, to the company, and to media and entertainment, period. Now let's get into the IceQueen's blog titled, Ash's Pikachu. She writes, so I was watching the Dark Ride Pokemon movie, which was nicely done. Just letting y'all know, I've never seen that. And I began to think about Ash's Pikachu. I began ranting to my fiance and he rolled his eyes and said, let it go, you are overthinking it. True, I may be overthinking this, but I must rant about this. Do your thing, girl. The blog is based off of two questions. One, why is Ash's Pikachu so strong in the anime? And two, why does Ash's Pikachu bother me so much? That could be personal, but I'm sure you have your reasons for it. Magical Pikachu equals unrealistic compared to the games. Pikachu has won so many battles with Ash. Pikachu has gone up against some tough opponents. However, some of these battles are considered unrealistic. First example, Ash's Pikachu defeating Blaine's RADEON. I thought he was a fire type gym. Oh well, with Thunderbolt. Thunderbolt is ineffective towards ground type Pokemon. Why did it defeat RADEON? Because Pikachu's Thunderbolt hit RADEON's horn, a weak spot maybe? Well, that never worked for me in the games. Second example, Pikachu's Thunderbolt can hit multiple opponents at the same time, as seen in Season 1 in the Kanto region against Team Rocket at Giovanni's gym. Unless I am learning about this today and I didn't know it can hit multiple targets, the anime, including Pikachu, does not match the games. Ash's Pikachu has some magical power we have yet to discover in our Pokemon, or some hidden ability that is undiscovered. Now, I'm gonna just interject real quick. I think she answered a lot when she said that basically the anime is just different from the game, and I think there's a lot of truth to that. Yeah, there's obviously some things that they do have in common, and they follow the path the same way, but there are definitely things in the anime that they write in. You can call it plot armor if you want, that they write in and create and exaggerate specifically for the cartoon, and specifically for the anime. I remember that episode with Blaine, and I think Brock said, "Oh, Pikachu used RADEON's horn as a lightning rod." Something along those lines, if I remember correctly. But I think at the end of the day, you can chalk it up to them just being different and having some similarities, but the anime does whatever the anime wants to do for the story. Now, with that being said, I know there are a lot of theories out there that people have put out that definitely hold some weight that we can look into as well. And for her second example, with the does Pikachu have some type of magical power we've yet to discover in our Pokemon, some type of hidden ability? I believe it is true that Pikachu has had some significant power boosts, permanent power boosts, that it has carried with it throughout its journeys. The first one being on episode 1 when it got hit with the lightning bolt and destroyed all of Spearow. I'm pretty sure, and this is a theory, and I've seen it elsewhere, that Pikachu maintained that power up. It wasn't something temporary. And there were a couple other episodes, I can't remember what they were off the top of my head, where Pikachu received a significant power boost and is theorized to be permanent at that. But we'll take a deeper look into this. This is just, off the top of my head. Let's continue. The next subject is Pikachu's IV's nature and ability. So we have a look at its base stats that IceQueen provided here. HP, attack, defense, special attack, special defense, speed, and total with its mins and maxes. Okay, so if Pikachu can take on these tough opponents, then maybe it has some real good IVs. Pikachu was given to Ash from Professor Oak. Whenever I get a Pokemon starter, they usually have the worst IVs ever. If I'm really lucky, I may get a Pokemon nature that works with the Pokemon I choose. So maybe Ash was lucky enough to get a Pikachu with 6 IVs, or in the IVs that really mattered. Would probably be attack, special attack, and speed. Good point, IceQueen. Or maybe Professor Oak felt bad that he didn't get a starter, so he genned a perfect IV Pikachu with egg moves, perfect moveset, and perfect nature. Also possible. That's funny. I've never heard that. I like that theory. I like that theory a lot. Can I have one, Professor Oak? All right. Now that we have IVs covered, what about Pikachu's nature and ability? Pikachu's ability is static. It paralyzes a Pokemon on contact. We've seen this when Pikachu battles Ursaring. Pikachu's static ability doesn't work very often. Oh darn. Let's discuss Pikachu's nature. Japan gave out codes for Ash's Pikachu, ribbon included, from July 8th through July 31st, 2015. Pikachu's nature is naughty. Naughty would explain why Pikachu's physical attack are so strong. However, doesn't that decrease special defense? Pikachu's stats are certainly not the strongest out of all the Pokemon, so you would think it would have fainted many times in battle, but it's anime, so Pikachu somehow survives most of the time. And therein lies the truth, IceQueen. You just said it. Therein lies the truth right there. It is the anime. It's gonna do whatever the hell it wants to do. Pikachu is the face of that damn show, of the franchise, so of course. But there could be some facts to back up why things are what they are. But then again, nothing is confirmed from the Pokemon Company, from the creators, from the developers. So essentially everything's a theory, right? Pikachu has egg moves and can learn moves based on the region? Question mark. In the Dark Ride movie, Ash's Pikachu knows Volt Tackle. Hold the phone. Isn't Volt Tackle technically an egg move? Well, according to Bulbapedia, it isn't. But you still have to breed to get the move on Pichu using a light ball. Did Ash's Pikachu come with Volt Tackle? I have never gotten a starter with an egg move. Lucky Ash again. Pikachu also knows Iron Tail, technically a tutor move that cannot be learned to Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire. And Double Edge, technically Pikachu cannot learn that. Pikachu in the later seasons also learned the move Electro Ball. Electro Ball is introduced in Black and White. So how does Pikachu learn Electro Ball if they started in Kanto? I would like to know. Listen, Everything you said here, IceQueen, so far is absolutely true. Absolutely true. No, you have no argument for me. And, you know, I still think here that a lot of this just boils down to the anime doing whatever the hell it wants to, especially when it comes to move sets. I think the easy answer to that is, in fact, the anime does whatever the hell it wants to do. Before we take a look at more of your essay, let's dig deeper into some of the stuff that you have already brought to the light. Now let's take a look at some media, some content for some other amazing YouTubers and content creators that really take a look at a lot of the things IceQueen has brought to our attention, and they really try to debunk and make sense of everything that we have looked at so far. The first one being The Alchemist. Great YouTube channel.
Welcome to Pokemon Why or Why Not, the show where we tackle Pokemon questions and theories. This week's question: why is Ash's Pikachu so strong? Pikachu, the electric mouse Pokemon, has been the mascot of Pokemon for closing on 2 decades now, and he's been the star of the anime since episode 1. Even though he's a pre-evolution, Ash has used him in gym battles and tournaments successfully, might I add. He's no ordinary Pikachu according to Team Rocket, and their plentiful, pitiful attempts to capture him. So what makes Ash's Pikachu so special? First, let's address the Don fan in the room. The anime is not the games. The battle mechanics are different in many ways. They're not turn-based, offensive moves can be used defensively. That's a list for another day.
True.
Let's just say they're 2 different sides of the same coin.
True.
The anime and the games. Not all the same rules apply, but some do. In terms of game mechanics, there's 7 main factors to every Pokemon that reflects how they're raised and how they battle.
Whatever's convenient for the plot.
Moves, held item, nature, stats, EVs, and IVs. Ash's Pikachu is an electric type with a varying moveset with a few constants like agility and thunderbolt that never holds any items and has a wider range of emotions. So let's focus on the last 3. This is Pikachu's stat spread in generations 1 through 5. You'll notice he has a high speed stat, and that's about it. Pretty awful, actually. The only way a Pokemon like this could amount to much is if it had decent EVs and IVs.
That's what she was
For an
saying.
explanation of these letters, EVs stands for effort values. They're basically stat boosters gained from battling and gaining experience. Each Pokemon has an EV yield, which is the number of effort values they give to their opponent when defeated. For example, defeating a Spearow gives 1 speed EV. IVs, on the other hand, stand for individual values, which is the stat boosters a Pokemon is naturally born with.
IceQueen taught me about
Pikachu
EVs and IVs.
In episode 1, Pokemon I Choose You, Pikachu is disobedient towards Ash at first. This also happens later when Ash deals with Charizard because Charizard had become too powerful to listen to him. Pikachu could be naturally too powerful, a la high IVs, to listen to Ash. Oh, and he does this. So yeah, probably has at least a few IVs. This moment is also a great argument for Pikachu getting an EV boost. As I said earlier, defeating a Spearow yields 1 speed EV. So when Pikachu defeats 100, that's 100 plus speed EVs.
Right.
But what does speed matter? In the games, the move Agility boosts the Pokemon's speed. In the anime, Pikachu uses Agility to evade other attacks.
True.
Drawing a conclusion from this, I assume in the rules of the anime, speed and evasion are one and the same. No matter how frail it is, a fast Pokemon is hard to hit.
Right.
Pikachu isn't just a glass cannon, it's a glass cannon on wheels. Pikachu is so strong because of not just its own natural potential, but the speed EVs it gained from defeating so many Spearow so early on. If you like this episode of Pokemon Why or Why Not, hit that like button. Tune in next week when I take a look at Ash's gym battles and find out how he managed to earn any badges. If you have any questions or theories for future Pokemon Why or Why Not episodes, leave them in the comments below. I'm The Alchemist. See you next week.
Great video by The Alchemist, and pretty much he touched on some things that we had come to the conclusion about already. But I also like the tidbit about, hey, it's probably 2 different things on the same side of the coin. Like, I never even thought about the agility thing. How much different agility is in the anime, where it has more to do with evasiveness based on how fast you are. It's a good point. So yeah, like IceQueen said, did this Pikachu get some bomb-ass IVs or EVs Yeah, and there's probably more examples of that throughout the anime as well. Damn, that's crazy. Alright, so this next video that we're going to take a look at, it's a little bit longer, but it does address quite a bit of the issues that we talked about, is by a YouTuber, a content creator called the Aura Guardian. Let's see what this one's all about. Yeah.
The Pokemon anime is full of mysteries, like there being more than one of the same legendary, whether it be a full-grown version or a baby, whatever happened to the GS Ball, who is Ash's father, why the one time a Master Ball is used it can't even do its job of catching any Pokemon. Did Ash die? Is that a gun? As I was saying, there are many things in the anime that we either find intriguing or sometimes even fascinating. And today I'm going to talk about arguably the biggest mystery in the Pokemon anime ever. What the f*** is up with Ash's Pikachu? Seriously, this thing is powerful enough to take out multiple Pokemon on its own, stand up to Pokemon with tons more experience, defeat legendary Pokemon, and even faint ground types with electric moves. However, this same Pikachu also loses to Pokemon that have never battled in their entire life. How? Is there any logical explanation for this? We all know the more a Pokemon trains and battles, the stronger they become. At this point, Pikachu is already strong enough to somehow take out multiple legendaries, but then it somehow loses, pretty convincingly, to not only a Pokemon that has never battled before, but what looks like a trainer that's also never battled before, or at least nowhere near as much as a trainer like Ash, who's travelled with Pikachu around multiple different regions. I'm sure Snivy isn't the only Pokemon Pikachu has lost to that you'd assume would be ridiculously underleveled in comparison. So, why is Pikachu's power so inconsistent? Well, that's exactly what I'm going to try and figure out, by looking at 5 different theories that might just explain why Pikachu is so strong, yet so weak at the same time. So the first theory we're going to look at that might explain our Pikachu dilemma is that the levels in the anime are either non-existent or work very differently from the games. Maybe levels don't exist in the anime at all, and it's really just all up to the trainer's commands.
Pidgey's attack is Gust at level 5, Sand attack at level 12.
Oh wait. Levels do exist in the anime. Well, maybe like I said, levels just work differently. In the Pokemon Origin special, we see that the gym leaders actually choose which Pokemon to battle with depending on the trainer and their Pokemon.
Have you got any badges?
Badges?
No, I don't have any. I see. Well then,
I really like that concept.
I'll battle you with these 2 Pokemon.
The anime, however, doesn't do this, as gym leaders will use the same Pokemon against everyone, which may imply that the stats of Pokemon in the anime do work differently to the games, whereas the Origin special works more similarly to the games. We also know that Pokemon in the anime don't learn every move exactly the same way as they do in the games. Like Ash's Pikachu learning Volt Tackle in the anime, whereas in the games the only way Pikachu can have Volt Tackle is by being bred with a parent holding a light ball. So maybe EVs and IVs are also different in the anime. Or perhaps they don't even exist. And maybe a level 5 Pokemon stats in the anime aren't as one-sided as compared to a level 100 Pokemon stats. However, I still think the difference in level and experience would still be way too big to matter. Pikachu has taken much more powerful hits and was still standing, compared to being knocked out by a Snivy that only hit Pikachu a couple of times. A Snivy that again has never battled before.
And remember, this is Snivy's first battle.
Well then, maybe it isn't just the Pokemon's power. Maybe it's also all down to the trainer. Which brings us to the next theory. It's all down to the experience of the trainer rather than just the experience of the Pokemon. One major difference between Pokemon battles in the anime compared to the games is that trainers are able to direct their Pokemon a lot more. When we battle in the games, all we're able to do is tell our Pokemon what move to use. Trainers in the anime are able to tell their Pokemon to dodge attacks, and even use moves in different ways. For example, during the Sinnoh region, one of Ash's tactics was to use a counter shield technique, which was used to win quite a few matches. He also taught his Weasel to use Aqua Jet against ice attacks, to create even cooler versions of Aqua Jet. Ash also once used Pikachu's Thunder attack to cheat. These are the kind of tactics that you don't see in the games, and are also used by other trainers other than Ash. And because Pikachu seemed to be unable to attack in the battle against Trip Snivy, it was unable to follow Ash's commands, and ultimately ended up being defeated. This I do kind of see being plausible, but there are still holes in this theory. If Ash was a good enough trainer to defeat, for example, all 7 Frontier Brains, with Brandon arguably being the level of an Elite Four member or even a champion, then Ash should have had no problem with any of his future battles, which he did. Like a loss to the first Sinnoh Gym Leader Rourke, multiple losses to his rivals like Paul and, as I mentioned, Trip, and...
You can't be serious! I was gonna win every battle with you!
If I may, you didn't by chance bring
I love that
just
gym leader.
GATO, did you?
Well, I guess if Ash was such a good trainer, he wouldn't be making stupid mistakes like this ever since he started his Unova journey. The next theory explaining Ash's Pikachu is my personal favourite, being that Pikachu's level resets during the beginning of every region. If this theory is true, it would explain a lot, like how Pikachu lost to Trip Snivy, how it fainted to Paul's Elekid, and how it struggled or wasn't able to beat a lot of the earlier region battles it had. The biggest hole in this theory, of course, is how does Pikachu's level reset? This isn't even something you can do in the games. The closest thing you can do in the games is reset your Pokemon's EVs. Well, at the beginning of almost every Pokemon series where Ash starts a brand new region, Pikachu somehow gets electrocuted, which usually results in Pikachu becoming sick.
You gotta see this. We're in the Hoenn region and...
I've seen this theory
Pikachu,
before.
What's wrong? Are you okay? You're burning up. You must have a bad fever. Huh?
And that, I think this is a good theory.
I know it. We better find a Pokemon Center, and fast.
It's possible that in the anime, Pikachu being sick at the beginning of the region was Pikachu's levels being reset due to the electricity Pikachu absorbed. However, the problem with this is that Pikachu has taken electric attacks before and wasn't sick afterwards. The sickness could have been caused by Pikachu being shocked straight into its cheeks, which is where Pikachu's electric attacks comes out. So maybe when Pikachu is electrocuted at the beginning of each region, the electricity goes directly into Pikachu's cheeks, into its body, and triggers something that makes Pikachu sick, and in the process resets Pikachu's level. This theory I do find quite plausible. I mean, if Ash is going to remain 10 forever, then I guess it would only be fitting for Pikachu to remain Ash's level 5 starter for each region as begins. This next theory is more specific to the Snivy battle, and that Trip Snivy actually wasn't level 5 at all.
Ooh.
That Trip Snivy actually was much stronger than a regular starter,
I haven't
being
heard
higher
that.
level than level 5, and possibly having previous battling experience. It's possible that Trip Snivy, instead of being a brand new starter, was actually found or even donated, and was added to the batch of new starters, and Trip just so happened to pick the Snivy. His Snivy already knew Leaf Tornado, and Snivy can't learn Leaf Tornado until level 16 in both Gen 5 and 6, although again, the way Pokemon learn moves in the anime and when they learn them is different to the games. Snivy being high level would explain how it was able to take a hit from Pikachu, and of course how it managed to knock Pikachu out, but I still see this theory being very unlikely. Trip Snivy isn't the only time Pikachu has lost a battle to an opponent we'd assume to be lower level, although Trip Snivy is definitely the most notable. Also, if Trip Snivy was high enough level to take on Pikachu, why is it still a Snivy? Trip Snivy did become a Servine, and eventually a Superior as Trip continued his journey, at about the similar rate of a normal trainer. Surely, if Snivy refused to evolve in the past, it wouldn't have evolved into a Servine, let alone a Superior. Plus, Superior, after being able to take down Pikachu as a Snivy, was one-shot by Pikachu when it was a full-grown Superior, so Superior can't be that powerful. And the last theory I'm going to look over that covers Pikachu's power inconsistencies is... The anime's logic is full of b****s, and Pikachu is only as powerful as the writers write it. And honestly, this is probably the most likely theory. Pikachu's levels work the same in the anime as the games, and Pikachu remained level 100 against all these super weak Pokemon in comparison. Pikachu would basically be the Saitama of the anime and one-shot every opponent he faced. And that wouldn't work for the anime. The writers are always going to have Ash and Pikachu overcome an obstacle and be challenged, or be wiped the floor with. There isn't going to be a time when Pikachu is sweeping through every opponent him and Ash come across. There's always going to be a limit that Ash and Pikachu must overcome. Let's take Dragon Ball Z for example. As the series goes on, Goku comes across stronger and stronger opponents, and in order to beat them, Goku must train, and through training, and about 25 episodes, he manages to overcome the obstacle in front of him. If Goku just one-shot every opponent he came across without breaking a sweat, it wouldn't be fun to watch. I mean, could you imagine a show where the main protagonist just one-shots everything without breaking a sweat? That would be so boring. Okay, aside from One Punch Man, because One Punch Man is amazing, and if you
True.
haven't seen it, you definitely should.
You watch
My
One
point is
Punch
there
Man
isn't
if you
gonna be
ain't
a time
seen
when
it.
Pikachu is sweeping through his opponents like
Please.
they're nothing. Well, not anytime soon anyway. The battles are one of the main parts of the anime, and the writers aren't going to have them be 2 seconds long. Put it this way, would a Pokemon fan find the Pikachu vs Drake's Dragonite battle as exciting if the battle went like this?
I guess it's up to you and me, Pikachu. Thunder attack!
The challenger wins the match! The challenger wins the match!
We did it!
I got a comment about that
match
battle.
Sucked. So to answer the question of why Pikachu's power is as inconsistent as it is, there isn't a definitive answer, but it's most likely because that's just how the show is written. I still like to think that Pikachu's level resets during every region, but we'll most likely never know for sure.
No,
Anyway, those are finally my thoughts on Ash's Pikachu. Of course, it's totally possible that there might be another theory out there that explains why Pikachu's power is so inconsistent. And if you know of another theory, I'd love to know as well. So if you did enjoy, please leave a like and subscribe if you want to see more Pokemon related videos in the future.
Go
and until
subscribe.
next time, as always, thank you so much for watching.
Go subscribe to Or Guardian. Yo. So, like I said, I really do think it just boils down to plot armor. They do whatever the hell they want to do. That's what I genuinely think. But these theories were also good and might have some value. The reset thing, you know, might be a little bit of a stretch, but given the evidence, it's plausible. It's plausible. It definitely is. And I never heard the one about Snivy, which is, like he said, is unlikely, and I agree, but it's also an interesting take on it. It's an interesting take. However, I just want to address the Drake's Dragonite battle. That always pisses me off because Pikachu gets way too much credit for that battle. People forget, like literally forget everything that happened before that. Oh, they said, oh, but Pikachu took out a pseudo-legendary Drake's Dragonite. No. Charizard and Dragonite battled their ass off for an extensive period of time. And Charizard, while he lost, took off a significant amount of HP off Dragonite. Alright, by the time Pikachu got sent out as Ash's last Pokemon, I'm pretty sure Dragonite had to have about 15 HP or less. That's how much of a dogfight him and Charizard were in. So stop the nonsense acting like Pikachu just took out Dragonite. Like that. Like if it was Dragonite fully healthy and Pikachu fully healthy, I really doubt Pikachu would have won that match. Alright? I really doubt it. So let's get that straight. Cut the nonsense out. People trying to rewrite history, trying to create this false narrative. Charizard did most of that dirty work. Alright? Alright. Alright, let's continue on with IceQueen's essay. The next topic is going to be about Pikachu's level. Theory. Is Pikachu level 100 by the time they reach the Kalos region? Or is it Kalos region? I don't know. I never watched it. Alright. Ash's Pikachu has traveled around all regions with Ash. There is a theory, not my original idea, on why he can't bring along his other Pokemon. Just keep reading. You would think with all the battles Ash and Pikachu have fought together, Pikachu would be level 100. However, I don't think this is true, and here is why. Ever heard of the government theory in Pokemon? Pokemon badges from different regions are considered part of the government. The Elite Four and Champion being the rulers of a region. Whenever you defeat a gym leader, a representative or person in charge of the town, probably appointed by the Elite Four and Champion, then your ability to control and have higher level Pokemon obey you increases. By the time you get all the badges, any Pokemon will obey you. This is why Ash's Pikachu would not be level 100 and why Ash could not bring other Pokemon, because he would overpower everyone and become the champion would be too easy. Just a thought. Maybe Ash gained more badges. He would be able to get back some of this higher level Pokemon from the PC. Who knows? Anyways, there's proof to this theory. Pikachu struggled to beat Surskit in Kalos' first gym. You would think a level 100 Pikachu would be able to defeat a low-level Surskit. With this theory though, I don't know how they would decrease a Pokemon's level. So, to sum it up, Pikachu is not super strong because of its high level. And just like we had saw previously, to reading this section, it could be a reset theory. It's possible. But again, it's all theories. We don't know. Side note, why hasn't Ash learned that electric moves don't work on ground types? Now, going back to the Darkrai movie I just watched, Ash battles a trainer's Torterra. Torterra is a grass ground type. Why did he tell Pikachu to use Thunderbolt? Pikachu should have been defeated by Torterra, yet Pikachu knocked Torterra over with an Iron Tail, which should not be very effective against a grass ground type Pokemon like Torterra. Why? Oh, hey Ash, have you ever heard of Hidden Power Ice? Okay, I am done ranting and I feel a little bit better now. IceQueen, we appreciate this, and yeah, everything you said is true, but plot armor, it's just different. They do what they gotta do to make it more entertaining, to create suspense, to create drama, and it goes against all logic from what we have known to be in the video game. But specifically when trying to figure out Pikachu's level and what level it may be, there is a really good video that touches on this. Now, altogether, it's 2 videos, both about combined 30 minutes, but we're only going to take a look at the last 15 minutes, and then they will recap what the previous first 15 minutes was, so we don't take up too much of your time. But definitely, let's take a look at this next video. Alright, so this next video is specifically going to touch on the big question mark, the big elephant in the room about the level of Ash's Pikachu. Now, you probably have heard about this channel, extremely popular, millions and millions and millions and millions and millions and millions of subscribers. It's called The Game Theorist, and the title of the video is Game Theory, You're Wrong About Ash's Pikachu.
Did we get him? I think we got him. Finally, after 5 whole seasons of anime, 276 episodes chasing this one Pikachu across Kanto, Johto, and the Orange Islands, we finally got him. That's a lot of episodes, Dan.
I think it's worth a celebration. Can we do the thing, please? Can we?
Yes, I think we can do the thing.
Yeah!
Prepare for trouble.
And make it double.
To protect the world from devastation.
To unite all peoples within our nation.
To denounce the evils of truth and love.
To extend our reach to the stars above.
Matt Pat.
Dan.
Team Theorist blasts off at the speed of light.
Surrender now or prepare to fight.
Meow! That's a really weak Pikachu. You two bozos realize he's only level 40.
What? But how can it be? We've covered nearly 300 episodes.
And 5 movies! I don't know, maybe things pick up in the next 300?
Hello, Internet! Welcome to Game Theory, the level 99 pain in the butt to any developers out there that don't think through the details of their fictional universe. Case in point, the Pokemon anime. Last episode, we were presented with a problem. Season 14, Episode 1, the start of the Black and White arc. Pikachu is pitted against a trainer's brand new level 5 Snivy and loses. And not just loses, after landing 1 blow, Pikachu gets hit twice by Snivy and faints. It is a blowout, and it is absurd. At this point in the series, Ash's adventures have covered 600 episodes and 13 movies. They've been across 5 regions with a grand total of 52 badges. Like, it should not be physically possible for that loss to have occurred. Literally running the numbers, it should not have happened. And so last time we started off on an impossible mission, actually calculating Pikachu's real level at the time of the Snivy battle to show how impossible Pikachu's defeat here would be. And yeah, sure, mechanics don't fully translate over into the anime, etc., but we can roughly translate what we know from the games into the anime to get a general sense of how strong Pikachu should be at this point in his adventure. But in order to do that, we had to watch the show. Literally every episode front to back, because guess what, friends? Prior to our research, there was no full and complete list of every battle Pikachu fights in the anime. Well, as our bleeding eyes can attest to, there is now. Long story short, I never want to watch Brock awkwardly leering at women ever again. Last episode, we were able to get up to the end of the Johto Johto arc. At the start of Season 6, 276 episodes in, Pikachu was standing at a shockingly low level of 40. But when you actually look at the data, it makes sense. What we found while watching was that he doesn't fight as much as you might think in the anime. Sure, Pikachu regularly blasts off Team Rocket, but for engaging in actual battles against other mons that can give him experience, Pikachu averages between 20 and 25 fights per arc, which
not that
isn't
much.
a whole lot relative to the number of episodes. Instead, he's usually sidelined for whatever shiny new Pokemon the anime wants to promote from that generation, giving him limited opportunities to actually get stronger. So just how powerful is Pikachu? Well, we've got another 324 episodes and 8 movies to cover, and I am determined that this will not be a 3-parter, so let's just get going.
Let's do it, baby.
So much more. Always. You don't have to rub it in, theme of Pokemon Advanced. You don't have to rub it in. As we get started, a few quick reminders. To find the experience of battling Pokemon, if they're wild, I'm taking the route they're on and using the median level number for that route. For trainer battles, I'm instead using the mean level or average level for all the trainers on that route, adding them all up and then dividing by the number of trainers. With gym leaders and Team Rocket appearances, I'm just using the level of those Pokemon directly from the games. Here's the equation we're putting all that information into, which I went into in much greater detail last time. And lastly, we're taking Pikachu's total experience and finding the cube root because Pikachu is part of the medium fast EXP category. And if you have any questions about battles or the facts and figures that I use, a link to the full document is in the description below this video, right next to that subscribe button, go figure, which if you haven't pushed yet, you probably should, because let's face it, no other person on earth is gonna take such a dumb question so seriously. And you clicked on the video, so clearly you're at least moderately interested in getting the answers to these sorts of things. So come on, join the community of theorists already. 46% of you aren't subscribed, right? Isn't that the thing I'm supposed to say? Which brings us to the next stop on our journey, Hoenn. And this is where things really get interesting. You see, there's a theory online written by Reddit user Joe's Cool that claims that Pikachu's level resets at the start of every other region, not including the Orange Islands. To quote from that original theory, in the final Johto episode Hoenn Alone, James fires up a giant magnet which causes a bunch of stuff to come up and whack Ash, knocking him out. In addition, Pikachu gets trapped onto the magnet and his electricity is drained. These two events cause Ash to lose part of his memory and Pikachu to lose the power it gained through its journey. This explains why Ash and Pikachu seem to reset. They both get caught up in an accident that seriously hurts them. And this is a great theory that explains a lot. Or at least it would be if the episodes didn't directly contradict all of it. And again, I know this because I gotta watch them all to do the theory. Sure, we see Pikachu get overcharged at the end of Johto.
Pikachu! Pikachu!
Pikachu!
You're burning up! You must have a bad fever!
But the very next episode, the start of Hoenn, we're told multiple times that Pikachu is able to recover back to his normal state.
Pikachu's output is incredible! It appears that Pikachu's electricity pressure has reached normal levels.
And all of this is without even mentioning the fact that Ash's memory seems completely unaffected by all of it. A similar thing happens in the Shadow of Zekrom, the first episode of the Black and White series. In this episode, Pikachu and Ash get caught up in a thundercloud, and Pikachu gets overloaded by electricity from Zekrom.
Pikachu is completely enveloped
inside
Pikachu
a powerful going through the most,
field.
though.
All that electrical energy Pikachu absorbed from the thunderstorm was too much.
Poor Pikachu.
And that would explain why Pikachu's not able to use any electric-type moves.
And while it does certainly seem to hamper him temporarily, Pikachu's level again doesn't actually reset, as even without electricity, he's still able to use advanced moves like Iron Tail that, as we see earlier in the anime, Pikachu had trouble actually learning. It's also worth noting that Pikachu fully recovers one episode later, and also Pikachu getting overcharged is a very common occurrence throughout the series, with no long-term consequences to his power levels. Anyway, all that's to say that there isn't solid evidence of levels getting reset here. Plus, it would ruin the fun of figuring out what the big number is at the end of this thing. So, Hoenn, the playable region from Ruby, Sapphire, and later Emerald. This region spans 4 whole seasons of the anime, and Ash returns to using Pikachu as his primary Pokemon, which means a lot more battles for him. Things start off simple enough, just a basic journey following along the path of the game.
I didn't know that.
Through,
4
things get
seasons?
a little funny as Season 8 shifts to follow more closely with Pokemon Emerald in order to coincide with that game's release. You can tell this in Season 8, Episode 18 with the introduction of Juan, who's the 8th gym leader in Emerald as opposed to Wallace from Ruby and Sapphire. The anime also includes the Battle Frontier, which is only present in Pokemon Emerald. In the end, there were 47 total victories in the region for Pikachu, nearly double any of the previous arcs. Rather than read all that information out, which would be dumb and long and tedious and no one wants to hear it, I'm just gonna gonna list them here with the episode number, route, and level. Yeah, told you there was a lot. And like I said, the Google Doc will be linked down in the description below, so if you really want to dig in, you can find all the information down there. Anyway, the main place to stop is right about meow. This is where Ash goes to the Battle Frontier and faces off against the Frontier Brains. Now, how the Battle Frontier works in Pokemon Emerald is that there are two categories of gameplay, level 50 and open level. Level 50 is the first class for Pokemon level 50 or below, and all the opponent Pokemon will be at level 50 themselves. Whereas open level means any Pokemon over level 50 can enter, and the opponent's Pokemon will match your highest level Pokemon.
Okay, that's pretty cool.
For us, at this point in the series, Pikachu actually caps in at 47, so he only qualifies for the level 50 mode, meaning that all the Frontier Brain Pokemon are gonna level at 50. I love it when things just work out. After beating the Brains, he only gains himself 1 level, and so Pikachu finishes off the Hoenn region at level 48. Next up, Sinnoh, and this region, this region. Hoenn was a breeze, nothing complicated, easy to follow, but I knew it was too good to be true. Sinnoh was determined to break me. Another 4-season region, another 49 battles, which you can see here. But the worst part, the worst
put
part
research
was Team
in.
Rocket. Curse you, Jesse and
Hello,
James.
research.
In the immortal words of Markiplier,
Props to
it's
them.
big brain time. So the first Pokemon Pikachu encounters in the Sinnoh region is Dawn's new Piplup. That's easy enough, it's level 5, all starter Pokemon are. However, in that first episode, Pikachu also encounters Meowth, Mime Jr., and Wobbuffet from Team Rocket. He of course makes quick work of them, but the issue is that we have very little to go on for the levels. Mime Jr. is probably the least complicated, as we see him use the move Mimic in episode 17 of season 9. We also know that move-based evolution is considered important within the Pokemon anime universe, as later in Diamond and Pearl, Apom learns Double Hit and soon after evolves into Ambipom. So even though time has passed since Mime Jr. used Mimic, he can't have leveled up, otherwise he would have evolved into Mr. Mime, meaning Mime Jr. here in this battle is sitting at level 32. Wobbuffet's a little harder to figure out, but we know that he was traded back on Route 34 of the Johto region, which would have made him at about level 11. So going on the idea that he's traveled 2 regions and taken into account Pikachu's level gain, I put him at level 40. The hardest in this instance, though, is Meowth. Last time I saw him lose a battle was in Kanto, where I estimated his level to be 31. It would be safe to assume that he grew at the same rate as Arbok and Weezing until they were released, which means by this point I've estimated Meowth to be level 70, which I know seems high, but once again, it's not going to make all that big of a difference in the
Meowth out here.
The last
Meowth out here is
region
swole.
is the battle tower that Ash partakes in during his time back in Twin Leaf Town,
Meowth
episode
swole.
36 of season 12. The battle tower in Diamond and Pearl is slightly different to the Battle Frontier in that the only option is level 50, with all Pokemon being dropped to that level in your party regardless of their actual level. As this throws off a lot of calculations, I instead opted for the open level approach from the Battle Frontier, making his opponents the same level as Pikachu, which at this point is 58. And now, we're finally here. After Pikachu fights a few more Pokemon, we are finally in the Unova region. This is once again where the series tries to do a soft reboot by trying to make Ash and Pikachu seem like a new team. However, we know that this is absolutely 100% not true. Ash retains all of his memories of the journey thus far. When Dawn rejoins the team, we get this interaction. And later, when Dawn specifically asks about Brock cooking for her and Ash on the journey, we also know that Pikachu retains all the moves that he's learned up to this point, like Iron Tail, which a new Pokemon trainer is unlikely to have taught a brand new Pikachu. Even the show only half-heartedly adheres to its own reboot, as in that very same episode we get this. Hard to say Pikachu reverted back to level 5 when he's actively being called the world's most powerful Pikachu. So with all that being said, it means we're here. We finally arrived at that big final number. Pikachu's level in his battle against Snivy. What is he? Level 90? 100? 200? Well, strap in, because that number is, after compiling all 148 Pikachu battles across 600 plus episodes and doing really elaborate calculations to get there, drumroll please, Pikachu's final level is 61. Kinda underwhelming, right? Like, he's traversed 5 whole regions. Most people are getting close to that level after doing a single run through a game. Even if you didn't like some of my estimations for Team Rocket battles, if we remove them entirely from the equation, it would still only put Pikachu at level 59. Any way you slice it, he's not as powerful as we all think he should be. I've seen forums of people online saying it must be 100. If the levels went over 100, he'd be like 1,000 at this point. But having sat down and painstakingly scrubbed through all the episodes, looking for every tiny detail, I can tell you definitively that that is not the case. He is like low 60s at best. So what's that mean for our battle against Snivy? Long story short, Snivy still should have been toast. As I mentioned at the start, Pikachu is the first to land a hit with a successful quick attack. To give Snivy the best possible chance, we're gonna assume that this is just the buffest level 5 you could possibly get, with an HP of 21 and defense of 12. And let's also say that Pikachu is my lower estimate of level 59. At that level, the lowest Pikachu's attack stat could be is 69, with quick attack's base power being 40 and the randomizer feature set to its lowest setting of 0.85, we can use the in-game equations to figure out that Pikachu's attack would do 95 damage, and 21 Snivy HP minus 95 damage equals negative 74. Snivy could be knocked out 3 more times with just that one hit. And to really round it off, let's just say that somehow Snivy did survive the quick attack. When it goes on the offensive, its attack and special attack stats are both 11. Pikachu's lowest possible stats here would be HP 110, defense 52, special defense 64. Let's also say the randomizer hits at its highest point, and both attacks are critical hits for Snivy. With Tackle having a base power of 50 and Leaf Tornado being 65, the most total damage that could be done would be 32 hit points. Pikachu would still have 78 HP remaining. So where does all this leave us? Well, I did it. I calculated what level Pikachu is, a task that no sane person has ever completed. I feel amazing and also very, very empty. This show is just painfully repetitive. Anyway, kudos to you, Ash. Sure, you lost against Snivy. You don't know they have to weaken a Pokemon before catching it, and you didn't realize that bug Pokemon are weak against flying types, but you've managed to win against the Elite Four using a Pokemon that's half their level, and that's gotta account for something. So maybe you are better than everyone gives you credit for.
So is it a water type?
No, Ash, it's a grass type.
Never mind, still an idiot. But hey, that's just a theory. A game theory. Thanks for watching.
I'm dead. I am 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 dead. Whew. That was a lot. That was a lot. I think we've, through our own analysis and through watching other videos of other people putting a lot of hard work and dedication and try to figure this out, I think it's safe to say that they're just different. And what the game theorists did right here was absolutely amazing. They really picked apart the game, picked apart the anime, found every possible similarity and tried to bridge them together to try to make sense of it, and ran all the numbers. The work they did was impeccable. And it still came to what IceQueen was saying. There's no way this Pikachu is that strong. This Pikachu is just not that strong. There's no way it's level 100. And she was absolutely correct. Best case scenario, what they said, mid 60s, best case scenario. And you Pikachu's in every episode, but until he broke it down, it was like this Pikachu doesn't fight as much as you think because it's usually pushed aside, shelved for the new Pokemon for that season, for that series, and that makes sense. But Meowth, on the other hand, sitting at level 70, swole as hell, boy, what? But yeah, I think really, I think what it really comes down to is plot armor. Even when they ran all the numbers and tried to make the Snivy situation make as much sense as possible, like they said, at the end of the day, Snivy should have been toast. Should have been toast. Unless there is a definite reset. That is the only answer to that. There is a definite reset, which is still a theory, in which even through that video, it's probably debunked as well. given their research. So my conclusion is, while some parts of the theories may make some sense, but there's always something there to debunk it from being an absolute perfect theory, is that, man, I'm just throwing it up, chalking it up to plot armor. The writers create whatever story, whatever situation they want to create drama, to create suspense, to create entertainment, because at the end of the day, all it is in fact entertainment. But best case scenario, by bridging the game and the anime series, Pikachu's probably sitting at, like they said, level 60 something, spanning over 20 years of Pokemon journeys with Ash. So pretty underwhelming, like they said, no question about it. Pikachu is not that strong, and it should have toasted Snivy. But we're leaving it at that. IceQueen, appreciate you for writing that essay and sharing it with us. You brought up a lot of great points, and I think in a lot of your conclusion are good theories and are probably accurate. But you know, like everybody else in all the other videos we watched, everything's still a theory until the creators tell us otherwise and give us, you know, a definitive answer on what the hell is going on. But at the end of the day, I'm saying plot armor. All right, everybody, you guys let me know what you think about this whole situation in the comment section. Do you have any theories? Let me know. What is your theory? What do you think about IceQueen's essay? What do you think about the evidence that we have observed and provided for us today? Like I said, let me know in the comment section. And generally, let me know what you think about Pikachu. Are you a Pikachu fan? Do you respect Pikachu? What is your general opinion on Pikachu? I want to know. And take care, like, comment, and subscribe, and I will catch you all on the next one. We out, baby. Peace. Thanks for watching.